been a hot minute since I have been on here, but something that I was kind of inspired by, I listened to a podcast by Britney Lee Saunders, which if you guys are a fan of Australian YouTubers, you might know her, Britney Lee Saunders, and she has a podcast called A Whole Lotta BS, which is a whole lot of bullshit, a whole lot of Britney Saunders. It's a really cool, like, kind of double meaning. She did a podcast on things she wished she'd known before she was 20 or in her 20s, something like that. And I've always loved doing videos like that. Like, I've always loved doing the whole, like, if you could go back and tell your younger self stuff, what would you tell yourself? So I think I'm gonna do a video kind of like that, because I'm not really one for regrets, or like there's nothing I look back and think I regret that I did that, I wish I'd done this. But there are things that I think, I wonder if I'd done this instead of this, what life would be like now. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm glad I did what I did because it's gotten me to here, but there's definitely things that if I could go back, I'd love to see how it would have been a different outcome. And it's funny, looking back, you get perspective, seeing how it really, like, things really do happen for a reason, and you kind of got to think of stuff as redirection instead of rejection, for sure. So jumping straight in, I don't want to ramble too much at the beginning, but I just hope everyone's safe and happy. Let me know in the comments, like, where you are in the world and what the kind of lockdown or like current situation is in your country, how bad it is, how relaxed it is, what's happening there. Let me know, because I'd love to just see everyone's different perspective. Anyway, I haven't written anything down for this. I'm just going off the top of my head. And some things that Britney had mentioned in her podcast, I can totally relate to. So if I do use some of them, I'm not trying to copy, just like agree kind of thing. Mine is more of a, what I wish I could go back and tell my 16-year-old self. And number one is definitely, high school doesn't last forever. I think you honestly get in your head and you think everything that happens, it's your whole world. You're so consumed by it. Especially like my primary school self. Like, I know I just said 16-year-old me, but oh my god, if I could go back and tell 13-year-old me, like, don't worry, hun, it's all gonna work out. You're fine. Like, you do you. When you're in school and you're engrossed in that kind of school drama, like, you see those same people every day. If something goes wrong, if there is a drama, you feel like it's the end of the world because you can't escape those people. Whereas, like, once you're out of school, if you had a fight with a friend, you can avoid them. Like, you don't have to see them. You don't have to go back to a friendship group, or you don't have to see your boyfriend every day or your ex-boyfriend. It's such a different world. Like, you choose who you see unless, like, you work with them or whatever. But in high school, you literally have to see them every day, and it's rough. Like, I completely know. So I think if I could go back to my, let's say, 10-year-old self, I know that seems really young, but 10-year-old me, I basically went on this 3-week holiday to England with my family, and I came back and it was like grade 4, so maybe I was younger than that. But I remember being about 10, and that was like my worst bullying stage. Everyone was so mean. Like, I kind of went through this stage of, I don't know who I am, I don't know what I like. Looking back, like, it was a horrible time in my life. I would cry all the time, honestly, and I wish I could just go back and tell that 10-year-old lost Jessie, like, my girl, like, it's all gonna be good. You're gonna figure out who you are and what you like, and you're just not gonna give a fuck. Like, you shouldn't give a fuck. That's what I'd like to say. Like, who cares what those people think? And it was all well and good then. Like, my mum would say that to me, who cares? But I think because I was stuck in a class with them, it's like, yeah, but if they don't like me, I have no friends, so I want them to like me. This is really sad, but I wrote a list. I wrote like a thing saying what you like about me. There was 2 columns, what you like about me and what you would change about me, or what you hate about me, something like that. And I gave it to people to fill out, which is so sad. Like, who fucking cares? But like, little me was like desperate to like figure out why they didn't like me. I was so confused, and so I passed it around, and like some people wrote like, oh, you're nice, but like you just copy everyone. And then one girl wrote in the don't like about you section, your face. And that's when I snapped and was like, are you fucking kidding me? So then I started going to school, and they'd say stuff to me, and I would just tell them to fuck off, and they were kind of like, whoa, what? And then I said to mum, like, you need to transfer me classes. I'm over these fucking people, they're shit. So the next year she transferred me classes. This was grade 7, so it would have been like 11, 12. And I met so many new friends. I met friends in that year in grade 7 that I'm still friends with this day and I'm close with, and I met lifelong friends when I moved classes, and all of a sudden I had a friend in every class. I had many friends in many classes. Like, I was just super, I'd say, popular in a way that I had a lot of friends. I'm not saying I was like the popular group. I just mean like for the first time in my whole life, I had boys after me. I had girls wanting to be my friend, and I had all these people that I was meeting all the time. Like, some friends I would meet would introduce me to their friends, and I just had this huge circle. It was social. Like, I loved it. And then anyway, long story short, I just from then on never gave a fuck about what people thought about me. And people often ask me like how I don't care about what people think, and it's just because I went through such a shit time that I just cracked and thought, you know what, I just don't care anymore. Like, if they don't like me, see ya, keep going. Like, there's no reason for people to be nasty, and it just bounces off of me now because I went through such a shit time. I think it just made me realize, like, I was trying so hard, like, what can I change about myself for these people to like me? And when that girl wrote your face, it was kind of a realization, like, there's always gonna be people that don't like you for no reason and are just nasty or jealous and are just gonna make up things and be nasty no matter what. And that's sad, and that's on them. That's not your fault, and you've just got to be you and go with it. And if they don't like it, that's on them. So that was a really long-winded one, but wow. I'd go back and just kind of try to explain that to me, but again, if I could do that, I probably wouldn't, because I would have never learned. And you can't just say to yourself, you shouldn't care what people think. It's something that comes with time and experience of just snapping and getting over it, I guess. Anyway, that was such a long one. Number two probably would be to save money. And I can't stress this enough. If you are a teenager and you're working, save as much money as you can. You get to 17 and you learn to drive, and you realize how expensive cars are and how expensive schoolies is going to be. If you don't live in Australia, I guess, I don't know what America or England call it. I think England call it leavers. Don't know what America call it. Spring break, or is that college? I don't know. It's like when you finish high school, you go and you have like a week of partying and you all go away, and like it's expensive. It's like $1,000 for accommodation, and then you have to buy food and alcohol and whatever, everything. It's expensive. So all this stuff came up, and then everyone wants to move to the city to do uni or whatever they want to do. It's expensive. And I wish I had saved earlier and not wasted it on things. I wish that I'd known kind of then what you could do with money if you put it away. And like, you know, it ended up working out. I ended up coming back here after a year living in the city, saving, and then saving 10 grand and going traveling. So it did work out, but I just wish, like, I always think, damn, if I'd have started saving at 14, imagine how ballin' I'd be right now. Number three would probably be a boy one, and it would probably just be like, having a boyfriend is not a goal. Like, it's not something you need to have. It shouldn't be, let's look for a boyfriend, or, oh, a boy likes me, so I'll just go along with that. It should be, you get to know someone and you really, really like them. They're good for you, you're good for them. You get to know them, it progresses slowly, and it happens. Like, it shouldn't be there was so many boys I dated that it was like they were just there, or like they were interested and then I wasn't, and then they kind of convinced me, and then it ended up being shit. Or like, I got a boyfriend just for the sake of having a boyfriend, and I spent so long being devastated about boys when really, like, were they that good? No. So I think that, and also like older me, like let's say 18 to 22, probably even later than that, to be honest, I wish I wouldn't have wasted so much time pining over someone that didn't give me the time of day. Like, why do we do that? I don't know, but I wish I hadn't. But again, it has made me the person I am today, and I'm a tough bitch for it. So everything happens for a reason. But to all you young girls out there, not that you'll take this advice, because you honestly just have to go through it yourself. Don't waste your life being sad about a fuckboy or over a boy who isn't worth it. No one's worth it. If you feel shit, just move on. Move on, hun. Next, I think I'd say find time to travel as much as you can, especially now with everything going on. If you haven't traveled and you're young, I feel for you, because I honestly don't know if it's ever going to be the same. And the best thing I ever did was travel Europe. Like, honestly, best time of my life. I constantly look back and think, I really did not appreciate that when I was doing it. Obviously I did, I had fun, but I just wish like I wish I could relive it so often. And it's one of those things that you will never have the same experience because it won't be the same group of people, it won't be the same weather, it won't be the same tourist season, it won't be the same just experience. You can't recreate. You could go to the same places again, but it would never be the same. So I think it changed my life because I just was so sick of doing what I was doing and being at home and not knowing where my life was taking me, not knowing what career to take. And I'm glad I went when I did, don't get me wrong, but yeah, I wish I'd saved and kind of planned to go sooner, or maybe seen more, stayed longer. I basically went to England and ended up getting a boyfriend there who kind of wasted a good 6 months of my life, longer, but like I wasted it staying because I loved him, I guess, or thought I loved him, whereas I wish I'd just gone and kept traveling, you know. Like, anyway, travel as much as you can, and if these restrictions lift and you have the money, just go, hun, go. And lastly, I wish that I could tell my past self, my younger self, not to stress so much about the future. I would cry every week in grade 12 because of the amounting pressure. Amounting or mounting? The immense pressure of what the fuck am I gonna do after school? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna study? What job do I wanna do? What career do I wanna explore? What are my options? I honestly had no idea, and it stressed me the fuck out. Everyone was telling me what I should do, what I shouldn't do, and honestly I just wish I'd gone more with the flow of how I felt. If I had to take a gap year, so be it. I let people talk me into like, no, you need to go straight to uni, otherwise you'll get out of it, like you'll get out of the study mode and you won't want to go back and blah blah blah. I had people telling me like, no, don't do that thing you really love, because if you make a hobby and a passion a job, you'll hate it. Or I had people telling me, no, do this because it makes sense and it's practical, it's logical. Never do the logical thing. No, that's not true. But I don't know, with stuff like that, I just think follow your heart, do something you love, because you have to do it every day. And you know what, at 16 or at 17 or at 15 or at 25, you don't need to know what you're gonna do or what career you want to take. My biggest piece of advice is to just try things. Look into things, try things. If you want to try 5 different uni courses, you fucking go for it. Like, yeah, you'll have a big debt at the end of it, but you don't actually have to pay that for a while if you live in Australia, so you're all good. But who cares? Like, just give it a shot. Do some things, do some free online courses, do some research into the jobs that you think you might like, or talk to a guidance counselor on career options. Google the skills you have, do personality quizzes, look at the jobs and just kind of look into them more. Like, I always had this assumption of what certain jobs would be like when they're nothing like that. Like a lawyer, everyone thinks lawyers is like suits. It's not. I worked in a law firm, it's fucking depressing. You have to read a lot. You have to like know the law back to front, and it's mostly just car accident cases or wills, you know, like most of it in where I live personally, because it's not a big city, it's mostly that. And people just think it's like this exciting job where you defend people and change lives, and it's not always that. So just do your research, look into things, and don't rush it. Like, if you're 16 and you're not ready for uni, go travel. Go and live your life a little bit until you kind of come back and really kind of think, you know what, that would really interest me, I'm gonna give that a go. There's no pressure. There's no pressure to be done. I'm 25, I'm still doing uni. I went back and I found something, literally fell into something that I was like, I never knew what it even was. I do marketing. I never knew what marketing was, let alone that I'd enjoy it. I was like, you know what, business interests me. I think that'll open a lot of doors. I think I could find something within that. I'm gonna do a business course. First subject was intro to marketing, and I was like, damn, this is the one for me. And that just, it was like, why did I spend all those years stressing and crying when I couldn't have changed anything? So anyway, they are my 5. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. If you are a younger girl or guy, whatever, I do hope that these tips can kind of be taken on and just have a think, because things that you think are important really aren't, and it can be hard to know that when you're young. But yeah, just take the pressure off yourself a little bit, you know, and enjoy your life and do what you love. Go with your gut, go with your heart. Bit cringy, I know. Anyway, make sure you subscribe for any new videos that I post. I feel like I'll probably be posting more often now that I have nothing else to do. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!